And we're live. Welcome back for another stream. How are we all doing this morning? Ahead of schedule today, decided to go live at 9:30 UK time. We were going to go live at 10, but we're ready ahead of schedule. I'm out for a friend's birthday today as soon as the stream finishes, so I had a few things to sort before going live, but that's all done. So I was just kind of sitting around and I thought, why don't we just go live earlier than planned? So here we are, half an hour early. Hope you're all well. Thank you all for joining me. We've got about 500 tuning already. We've got Amir, Ego, Dan, Daryl, Mamadou, Static, Abadi, Charlie, Locke, Regsver, Richard, Cheekster, Alex, and many more. Morning, Mats. Morning, all. How are we all doing? So, yeah, welcome to the stream chat. My transfer has been made already. For the people who, for the eagle-eyed viewers, I have sold Trossard. As soon as he joined the team, he's left the team, and Foden's joined my team. So that's my transfer. Get that out of the way early. Hopefully you'll still stick around for the rest of the stream. But that's the transfer I've made. So, yeah, Foden joins the team. I think it's a close one between him and Saka. We'll do a poll later to see where you guys are leaning between Foden and Saka, because I think they both have their merits. Both very good picks, both with good fixtures. So, yeah, it's a close one. I ended up on Foden. So, I'm back on the Triple City. But, yeah, I do like the look of Arsenal's fixtures, especially Gameweek 14, home to Forest. So, yeah, get your questions in the chat, everyone. Appreciate you all being it. Tom Edister says, Trossard brace against City 100%. It would be classic FPL if this is the week Trossard does something, because everyone seems to be selling him or benching him, because it's a really bad fixture for Brighton now, away to City. But yeah, it is what it is. Foden's got a very good record against Brighton, actually, which we'll talk about later on the stream as well. Could be coincidence, or maybe they're his bogey team. So we'll see. But he's got a good record against Brighton. He hasn't blanked in his last 4. I've got no idea, says Haaland Hattie. Hopefully he does have an idea. I would like a Haaland hat-trick. He is my captain. What are you guys saying for captaincy? Is anyone not on Haaland? Salah or Son? Salah's a really tricky one, because last game obviously he played very wide. He wasn't taking up great areas early in the game. And then when Nunez went off, he started to occupy some really good areas. He was playing like a striker more than a right mid anyway. If I had to pick between the two, I think I would go for Salah, just about. Sanket's on Foden captain. A few Foden captainers. Firmino captain for Jamie Gallagher. Yeah, it really just depends on whether Nunez is in the squad today or not. He went off early last match, and there were some rumours that he had a thigh injury. We'll talk about that in a second when we do the news roundup. But yeah, if Nunez is out, then I think Salah is a very, very good captain option. Arguably even better than Haaland. It's just when he's playing this right mid role that he's been so disappointing. So yeah, we'll have to see. We'll see if we get any early news. We're going to keep an eye out for leaks and that sort of thing. So hopefully we get something before the deadline. Sheriff says, morning mate, good luck. Would you play Ward or Kepa? Also, would you play Castagna, Trippier or Guehi? Would you bench Wilson for any of them? I wouldn't bench Wilson, no. I wouldn't do that. So, Ward or Kepa? Let's have a look at the clean sheet odds. I think I would say Ward, just about. But it's close, because Kepa has been smashing it. Let's see. Chelsea, 34% chance. In fact, Chelsea are a fair bit higher on the clean sheet odds. I would just back the bookies on this one. I would go Chelsea. They are at home against Man United, so I would say you start Kepa there. To be fair, he is the most informed keeper right now. 3 clean sheets in 3, so I would start Kepa, and then it's between Castagna, Trippier and Guehi. It's between Castagna and Trippier. I actually think it's okay to start Trippier over someone like Guehi this week. That's what I would do if I had a dilemma like that. In my case, I don't have the option to choose someone else. I have to start my back 3, but I would start... I think I would just about start Trippier, but that's really close, that one. What would you guys do in the chat? Castagna or Trippier? I don't think Guehi, myself, not this week. I think with Trippier, there is still a clean sheet potential there, right? But he's also got the attacking threat every game. There's always every chance he whips in the corner that someone converts, or if they get direct free kick. He's got an incredible record on direct free kicks, so I think chat agrees, Trippier. Shout out to Bobby Harrison. Guehi or Perisic? Yeah, this is a tricky one as well because my gut feel says that Perisic is benched this game week. I think Sessegnon starts. So I think I would start Guehi between those two. Trippier is this season's Trent. Yeah. They definitely underpriced him. I think he's, what, 5'6", 5'7" now? He started at 5 mil. He definitely should have started at 5.5, maybe 6. You know, if he carries on the way he's going, next season he'll be 6, 6.5 easy. Harvey says, Trippier free kick today, please. I hope so. That'd be great. He's got such a good record on direct free kicks. It's unbelievable, especially for a defender. Let's jump into the news roundup. Obviously, the first news, don't know why I'm laughing. Maybe Villa fans are laughing, but Gerrard's been sacked. He's left the club with immediate effect. What do you guys think of this one? Right to be sacked or a mistake? Obviously, it was off the back of a loss last game week as well, so I think it was. I think he was. In my opinion, they probably kept him around longer than they should have, if anything. I think the results just weren't good enough, and I couldn't see any signs of them turning it around. The Liverpool news: Klopp on Nunez's tight hamstring. He had treatment yesterday, so we'll see. It sounds like it could be a last-minute decision, so we'll keep an eye out in case we get any news on Nunez, whether he's fit or not. The other bit of news, or rather rumour, is that Klopp will make sweeping changes for Nottingham Forest. Robertson, Harvey Elliott and Milner could all return to the starting lineup. Difficult to say exactly what impact this has. It could be Milner and right back, perhaps, which would be bad for Trent owners. We might see Salah up top if Nunez misses out, which would be great news for Salah owners, especially Salah captainers. Zinchenko is in contention to face Southampton. Also says Martinelli's fine, and he believes Saka's okay following a knock in the Europa League on Thursday night. So that one's for all these Saka owners or those that have brought him in. He did play about 85 odd minutes, and then he picked up a knock. But it sounds like it's minor. An interesting quote from Pep. He says, if I smell it, and he's talking about a player worrying about injuries because of the World Cup, he will not play. I'm really good at smelling it. Tactics, not so much. So it's an interesting point. We're at that point of the season where a lot of players perhaps have the World Cup at the back of their head, and they're concerned about picking up injuries and whatnot. So perhaps some players are hesitant to go 100% into every game, right? Because there is that injury risk. So I wonder what role that will play and whether that will affect Pep and perhaps other clubs' team selections, right? Perhaps they'll favour some players who aren't in the World Cup because they've got nothing to lose. Haaland not in the World Cup, of course, so that's good. Why is Everson in goal? He's there just in case Ward doesn't play for any reason. Like there's an injury we don't know about. Leicester have much better clean sheet odds. But yeah, in all likelihood, I'll get Pope off the bench, which has happened the last few game weeks. Sell De Bruyne for Salah, asks Charlie. I wouldn't make that move. I'll keep hold of De Bruyne, definitely. Look at their next 4 fixtures. 3 home games in 4. And the away game is Leicester. You have to keep De Bruyne. Solanke or Andreas? Solanke. Free hit draft for this game week. I definitely wouldn't free hit this game week. This is not the game week to free hit. Keep the chip. 100%. It's a complete waste of free hit in a single game week. If you've still got your free hit, you'll want to use it later in the season when there's blank game weeks or double game weeks. And there will be lots. We haven't seen the last of the blank game weeks, and there will be much bigger ones to come than we had last game week. But yeah, it's good to have Arsenal City back after that blank game week. It was a bit of a disappointing game week. I was on about 8 greens in a row, but I had 8 players, so I'd taken -4 to get to 10. So it was always going to be a red. But it was only a small red, actually. I'm up down to 120k. Do you think Trent starts? My gut feel is that he doesn't, based on what we've read. Hard to say, though. There are murmurs that Milner starts, so perhaps Milner starts in right back. Ryan says, what drink? I'm on the just a cup of tea this morning to wake me up. But it is my fplfocal former #1 in the world mug. FPL merch sent me that. It's now my go-to mug every morning. Every time I make a video, I have a nice brew in my former #1 mug. What about Tsimikas? I think Tsimikas is benched, Robertson starts. I'd be very surprised if that doesn't happen. Next is, I'm seriously contemplating on captaining Salah. Let's do a captain poll and see if anyone is tempted by Salah or not. I do think he's a genuinely good option, especially if Nunez is out. Otherwise, it's a bit bit more difficult to justify. Who is your captain for Game Week 13? So we've got, it's pretty much just Salah and Haaland, right? I guess I'll chuck Kane in there as well, and then other. There we go. There's the poll. Get your answers in. Adi Hussein says, I'm on a wild card. I have Trent, Saka and Darwin. What to do? If I was on a wild card, I think I would swerve Darwin, if I'm honest. It just feels like a bit risky whether he actually starts or not. You know, there are these murmurs that he's got some kind of minor thigh injury. Whether that's enough to rule him out of this game or not, it's a really difficult one because it's such a good fixture, but I think I would swerve Darwin on a wildcard. I think I'd have a front three of... In fact, if you haven't seen it, I did make a wildcard video, and I had Haaland, Mitrovic and Solanke, I think was the front three. I think that was it. I think I did have Trent on that draft though, so I would change him to Robertson now, based on what we've heard. Trent's a difficult one as well now, I have to be honest. I think I'd swerve him as well. I think I'd go Robertson over Trent if I was on a wild card now. Saka's fine. My midfield would be Salah, Saka, Martinelli and Foden, and then Andreas on the bench. Yeah, I think I'd swerve Darwin. What would you guys do? I think I'd avoid Nunez on a wild card now. Just seems a bit up in the air whether he starts or not. Could be a front three of Carvalho, Firmino, Salah. We heard rumours that Harvey Elliott starts as well. I'll have a quick check throughout this stream in case there's any leaks or anything. Let's have a quick look now. Nothing as of yet. Yeah, I'll keep an eye out just in case we get any leaks or, you know, Liverpool lineup news. Because if we find out, for example, that Darwin's out, then that'd be massive. Especially if you own him, and especially if you're on a wild card. Hi Oscar, why do you have the goal screen blurred? What's the goal screen? Goal screen. What does that mean? Why Everson? He's there just in case Ward doesn't play, because Leicester do have better clean sheet odds this game week, basically. How about Barnes over Foden or Saka? Nah, for me, Foden and Saka are absolutely the two right now. 420 Prex, it says, first time on the live stream, loving the content, my man. Welcome to the stream. Appreciate you being here. Captain poll results. So Haaland 76%, Salah 20%. Interesting, that's more than I expected actually. Just 1% are on Kane and 3% are on other. Oh, and goal, yeah, it's Everson for that reason. Just in case Ward doesn't play, then Leicester have better clean sheet odds. Right, let's have a look at the Kings of the game week. After last game week, it was Alisson who joined, which sums up how underwhelming game week 12 was. It was Alisson's 15-pointer. Who's going to be the game week 13 king? Get your guesses in the chat. Eze, Salah, Hardik says Salah, Shiv reckons Haaland, Tom reckons Ward, Midir says Haaland, Firmino, Everson, Skamaka, gotta be Saka, Harry says Sterling, but Harry's profile picks Chelsea crest, so I sense some bias there. Edouard, Foden, the Egyptian King, Kane, Almiron. Yeah, Almiron, more points than Salah this season. I tweeted the other day, if you'd said that to me before the season started, that after 12 game weeks, Almiron would be on more points than Salah for like 7.5 mil cheaper, I would have just assumed that Salah gets a really bad injury or something like that. But as it stands, Almiron's on more points. Aditya says, is it worth a -4 for Cuckoo to Gabriel from Arsenal? I have Trippier, Cancelo, Soufal and Nico. I actually think it probably is, yeah. Assuming that you can't do Soufal. Assuming that you can't do Soufal to Gabriel. You could also just do Soufal to White. But yeah, I think I would be tempted to make that move because Soufal may not play. Nico probably won't play. Cuckoo. Difficult. I tend to avoid hits for defenders because you are counting on a clean sheet. Plus you're counting on the player you're selling to score less than 2. And there is a chance of Chelsea keeping a clean sheet against Man United. It is just a little bit doubtful whether Cucurella starts or not. Maybe Chelsea fans in the chat can let me know what the chances of a benching are. I think Chilwell was benched last game, so I imagine that he almost certainly comes back into the starting 11. So does Cucurella start again? How does Potter line up? I think I would make the -4 there. It gets you ahead of the curve. You've got 3 great games to play Gabriel in the next 4. I think I would take that -4, yeah. Charlie H says, amazing content. Thoughts on Foden captain? I don't think I'd go captain, but he does have a very good record against Brighton, as we were saying earlier. This is the tweet that I prepared for the stream. He hasn't blanked against Brighton since the 2019-20 season, a couple of years ago. He's played 4 times against them in the league since then. He's got 5 goals, 1 assist, 49 points in 4 games, which is 12.3 points per game. That said, I don't know if I would do it. I feel like Haaland's just more sensible and better. And when a player looks better and sensible, then I think you're just taking a punt for the sake of a punt. So I think I would be tempted to just stick with Haaland, assuming you've got him. But if you're looking for a big upside potential rank swing this week, then I think Salah and Foden are the best alternatives. -4 KDB to Salah. I wouldn't be selling KDB this game week. Absolutely not. Your thoughts on captaining Firmino? Again, I think Haaland's the best option this week, followed by Salah. I mean, if you want to punt, then Firmino's fine. Like we're saying, so is someone like Foden. But for me, it's Haaland and then Salah. Those are the best 2. Ali says, show the clean sheet odds, please. Let's find the clean sheet odds. Where are they? There they are. Yeah, these are the Gameweek 13 clean sheet odds. So it's City top, not by much, 52% chance. Good news for the Cancelo owners, which I think is many of us. Liverpool 51.5%. West Ham 45%. Arsenal 37.5%. Board owners, Leicester have a 23.5% chance. Rock bottom's Brighton 7.5%. Nottingham Forest 8.5%. Amy says Trippier or Zaha, Pope or Ward in the starting 11. I would start Ward and I would start Zaha. Between those. We'll also have a look at the goal scorer odds, which are as follows. Haaland top, 56.5% chance of scoring against Brighton any time. At the start of the stream, we're talking about how Pep's been saying that if a player isn't giving it 100% because they want to avoid injuries, because the World Cup's around the corner, then he's not afraid to bench that player and start someone else who's willing to give 100%. Interestingly, he also said that if a player's not giving 100%, he thinks they're likely to get an injury. But yeah, in Haaland's case, Norway aren't even in the World Cup, so that's another thing that adds to his appeal. What also adds to his appeal is that Man City have had a midweek rest. All the other teams have played midweek, including Arsenal, who had Europa League. But Man City had a midweek rest, so slightly more recovery period. So for me, it's Haaland. It's got to be Haaland captain. But Salah 46% chance. So if you wanted an alternative, then I think Salah's a great pick. Kane 39.5% chance. How many players do you guys have from here? For me, I've just got Haaland, Salah, Mitrovic, and Foden. 4 players. Cancelo captain. Yeah, we've seen the Cancelo captaincy come off before, and he's outscored Haaland before. 4, 2, 3, 3. Alright, rather than just the goal scorer odds, we'll have a look at the projected points as well from FPL review. How many players do you guys have from this one? So I've got Salah, Haaland, Foden, Cancelo, Martinelli. 4 as well, actually, on this one for me. Anyone got more than 4? Yeah, interestingly, FPL Reviews got Salah top of the projections with 8.1 points. Haaland second with 7.7. It really just comes down to where Salah plays and whether Nunez is out or not. Kim's got 6. Tony's got 6. 6 for Philip. For Killer Gaming. Sam's got 5. So's Jack. So's Cos. Reese has got 5. Yeah, you're looking very, very good if you've got 6. Even if you've got 5, you're looking good. I think I've got 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, 5. I've got 5. Anyway, we'll come back to that later if anyone needs projected points for some 50-50 calls. But yeah, interesting that they've got Salah top ahead of Haaland. Let's do a poll on Foden versus Saka. I'm interested to know what you guys are saying for that. So it was Haaland top of the captaincy, 78%. 17% of you have gone for Salah, 3% other, 2% for Kane. Maybe we should call it... Should we call it best Trossard replacement? Or no, because not everyone's got Trossard. We'll just say which is the best asset for the final 4. And then we'll go... I've typed in the chat instead of the poll. Which is the best asset for the final 4? So we've got Foden, Saka. We'll chuck Bowen in as well. I think he deserves a mention. I know he just missed a penalty, but deserves a mention. Good fixture for West Ham. There we go. So a lot of us are looking for Trossard replacements, and some of us in the market for a new midfielder. So get your votes, and who's the best asset out of those? These are kind of mid-priced midfielders. So we've got Foden, Saka, Bowen, and other. Thank you to Dave for the super chat as well. He says bench 2 and play 2 between Trippier, Castagna, Solanke, and Andreas. I think I'd start Solanke and Trippier out of those. I would bench Andreas and Castagna. I think I'd give Trippier the nod over Castagna just about. Solanke I'd definitely start. So it'd be Solanke and Trippier out of those. Yeah, a bit of an awkward one because Castagna and Andreas look good, and there is potential for them to hurt you this week. So yeah, that is a bit of a benching nightmare, but I would start Trippier and Solanke out of those myself if it was my team. Thank you, Kinga, as well, for renewing the membership for 3 months. If anyone's interested in becoming a member, by the way, it's the join button below the stream, or there's links below. You get a little badge by username, you get early access to my videos, and there's a private channel on the Discord for members. And he says, hi mate, bench Solanke or Trippier? Between those two, I'd bench Trippier. I think you've got to start the striker. Yeah, I'd start the striker there between those, mate. So, you guys have voted as follows. 72% have gone for Foden. Wow, it's not even close. 18% have gone Saka. 8% Bowen. And 3% other. Who are you guys saying for other? Barnes. Shout out to Laurel Vale as well. AK89 says I hate this game. No context, just I hate this game. Why'd you hate this game? Do you guys love this game or hate this game? Or is it a bit of a love-hate relationship? There's nothing better than FPL when you're doing well, when you're on green arrows, when your picks come off. And there's nothing worse than a bad game week with a big red arrow. It's a very love-hate relationship, I think. Very bipolar relationship with FPL myself. Yeah, on a good game week, it's like, oh, this is the best. But when you're on a big red, it's awful. Especially when there's pressure, you know, making videos and doing live streams. But hopefully I'm back on a green arrow this week. Actually, I'm not doing too bad this season. Until last game week, the blank, I was on about 8 or 9 green arrows in a row. Red last game week, but yeah, we'll see how this game week goes. Saka out. No, Saka should be fine based on what we know. See if I can find it. This is what Arteta said. He said Zinchenko is in contention to face Southampton, Martinelli's fine, and he believes Saka is okay following a knock in the Europa League on Thursday night. So it all looks okay as far as Saka. Start Watkins or Trossard? Watkins. Ward or Pope? Ward. Sessegnon or Doherty? I think Sessegnon. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Conte shakes things up. Maybe he changes both wing backs. It was Perisic and Doherty last game. Emerson's back from suspension for Spurs, so he might go back in right wing back, and then perhaps Sessegnon comes back in as well, because it was a bad result and Spurs didn't look great, so perhaps he tries to shake things up for the Newcastle game. Zach says, greetings from Nepal, love your content. Thank you, Zach. Where's everyone tuning in from this morning or afternoon? Where are you guys tuning in from around the world? Kim says, Potter luck party, you never know what you're getting. Yeah, it seems like same older Potter. You know, he's benched Sterling 2 of the last 3, which isn't great. I think Mount's still a very good pick. He looks much, much better under Potter. Finland, Hong Kong, Lithuania, Milton Keynes. I used to work in Milton Keynes before I quit my job to pursue YouTube at the start of this year. Serbia, Oslo, Malaysia, Australia, Zambia, Croatia, Tunisia, India, North Wales, England, Cyprus, Liverpool, Turkey, Manchester. If anyone in the chat is from Manchester, I'm going to be there in a few weeks for the Football Content Awards with FPL Harry and FPL Raptor. And we've organised a FPL meetup. Just going to go down to a pub, really. Myself, Harry, Raptor, and a bunch of others will be there. Definitely come if you live in Manchester. It's going to be on the 17th of November. I'm going to tweet the details nearer the time. But yeah, if anyone lives around Manchester, definitely come to that. It's going to be a good crack. We're going to probably rent out space in a local pub. And yeah, just get the beers down us. Somalia, Nigeria, Delhi, Sydenham, Scotland, Egypt, Lebanon. Nice to see such a good spread. Tune into the deadline stream. Appreciate you all being here. And if you have enjoyed the stream so far, please do hit like on it. We've got about 200 likes. If everyone hits like right now, we'll blast that past 500. It's like 1.2k of you. Drop the stream a like if you have enjoyed it so far and the content I prepared for you guys on these streams. I always do like an hour of prep work before each stream, just to make it a bit more engaging. So if you do enjoy the stream, do hit like. I appreciate all your support. And I appreciate you tuning into my videos. It's been the craziest week ever. I did 10 videos in 6 days. Saka or Zaha? Saka. Foden or Saka? Foden. Trent or Van Dijk? I'm just not sure if Trent starts, so I'll say Van Dijk there. Thoughts on Eze versus Everton? Yeah, I think Eze's a great pick. I tweeted about him earlier in the season, saying this is like back in Gameweek 2 or 3, and I was saying he looks like a great pick. You know, once the fixtures turn for Palace, and he is playing really well right now. I think it's 5.5, 5.6. Great pick. So let's have a look at the scout selection. And the team is as follows. They've got Fabianski in goal, Cancelo, Robertson and Gabriel back 3, Foden, Maddison, Saka and Zaha midfield 4, and a front 3 of Haaland, captain, Darwin and Skamaka. What do you guys think of the team? I'd completely overlooked Skamaka actually. He's a great pick for this game week, home to Bournemouth. Love that fixture. Hi Kofi, how you doing? Pranash says, thoughts on getting rid of Trippier to afford Foden? I don't think I would. He's blanked like twice this season, and that was back in like Game Week 4 and 5. If you can do it for free, and you can bring in a good Trippier replacement, I can understand the temptation, but it doesn't seem right to be selling Trippier. The consistency he's shown. Mo Omar says, hi Oscar, 1 free transfer. I've got Cancelo, Trippier, Guehi, Webster and Nico. What defender to bring in to last me until Game Week 16 and who to replace so I have cover. So Cancelo, Trippier and Guehi I think are fine. I don't know if you need to spend a defender transfer there. Because this week you can start Cancelo, Trippier, Guehi. You can also start Guehi in Game Week 14 and then you've got Webster for the last 2. I'd be tempted to roll. Take 2 transfers into Game Week 14. I don't think you need to make a defender transfer there. I don't think it's the week. I can't see a defender transfer that has good upside for you. I think Webster's fine to keep if anything. I'd probably even have him on a wild card or dunk. And I think Guehi's fine as well. That's one thing that's easy to do. Sometimes we don't put enough value into free transfers and sometimes we just spend them because we've got them. But it's something that I'm more conscious of nowadays is rolling the transfer whenever you can. Because having 2 transfers is so powerful. You never know when you're going to get hit by injuries and things go wrong. You know, if I had 2 banks last game week, I would have had a full 11. Instead I was down to 10 because Fofana got injured, James got injured, Maddison got suspended. And I can't see a big upside move there. So if I'm spending a transfer, it needs to be something with enough upside in, you know, potential points gained. So I would keep the transfer there in that case. And I hope to roll the transfer into Game Week 14 myself on that subject. You know, if I look at my team, it looks good for the next 2 now. So the plan is to roll into Game Week 14 and then I'll take 2 transfers into the final stretch. Tyler says, Oscar, when do you plan to use your triple captain? I don't know which game week yet, but we're going to get double game weeks later in the season. Let me see if I can pull up the postponements. We've got a lot of postponements already. I think it's like 14 or so games have been postponed already. Obviously there was an entire game week postponed. Can you guys see that? There we go. So these are all the postponements already. And what happens is these games have to go somewhere later in the season. It'll be after the World Cup. And what happens is these fixtures will likely go into a midweek. So for example, we've got a fixture this weekend. And if there was 3 games next midweek, then a game could go there and you get the double game weeks. So it'll be in one of the double game weeks. It'll be much later in the season, probably. We don't know yet when the fixtures will move to, that's the thing. And I don't know which player I'll use it on either. You know, say Salah starts finding some form. He might have a double game week against, you know, someone at home and then Wolves at home. That'd be tempting. But we also look at Man City. They've got a postponement against Spurs. They've got a postponement against Arsenal. So I might be tempted by Haaland. So yeah, I don't know when yet. We don't know when the fixtures will move to, but it will definitely be in a double game week. Thank you for the super chat, Tyler. Appreciate that. Hopefully that helps. Saka or Bowen? Saka. Rashford or Edouard? If that's who to start, I think I'd go Edouard. He's in good form. If it's who to transfer, then Rashford. Trossard or Pereira? I think Pereira actually takes that one. Guaita or Ward? Oof, I think Guaita. Pope or Ward? Ward. I'd say for the Pope and Ward owners, I would start Ward because they've got better clean sheet odds. For those kind of decisions, I tend to just back the bookies. You know, it's different if you're talking about starting, you know, someone like Trent or someone like, or another player that's got better clean sheet odds, who has low upside. But if you're talking about just goalkeepers, then always refer to the clean sheet odds, and that's why I include this in the preview videos, because yeah, it helps with those 50-50 calls. And Leicester have a 23.5% chance of a clean sheet, and Newcastle have a 19% chance. Not much in it, to be fair, but I would back the. Ari, thanks for the super chat. He says, is Salah a good option, a good captain? If it pays off, it could be huge. I think it's a good option, yeah. It just depends on where he's playing, basically. If Nunez is out, then I think he is on par, if not better, than Haaland. I'm just checking if there's any last-minute news or leaks. Nothing yet. I'll keep an eye out in case we get anything. But if Nunez is out, I think Salah's an exceptional captain option. I really do. Just right now, when Nunez starts, Nunez is kind of the source of goals. He's the one doing all the shooting. And as a consequence, it has had this effect on Salah where he's been less involved and he's not the main outlet anymore. So it's totally dependent on that. We will keep an eye out for any news whether Nunez is in the team or not, because he was withdrawn early and there was rumours of a thigh injury. Thank you for the super chat, Jan, as well. Appreciate that. Thank you. Right, let's end that poll. Forgot about that. Let's do a poll on hits, if anyone's on a hit this week. How many hits? There we go. Kilman or Trippier? Trippier. Eze or Almiron? Eze. Novus, thanks for the super chat as well. He says, I have Son since Gameweek 6. Which thoughts in perspective? Do you mean replacements? You definitely don't get rid of him this week. It's home to Newcastle. And then it's Bournemouth away. I think you have to keep Son for the next two. Nice differential, if anything. Yeah, if I had Son, I'd keep him. Give him the next two and then sell him before Liverpool. I know he's kind of dropped off since the hat-trick, but I would keep Son. And then maybe you could look to sell him for someone like Foden if you don't have him. That sort of player. Delboy says he still can't trust Salah. I know, that's the thing. He hasn't filled us with the confidence of past seasons. S. Jaspersky, messed your name up completely there. S. Jaspersky says, Salah and Foden in for Trossard and Son from -4. Thank you for the superlative content. Thank you for the super chat. Salah and Foden in for Trossard and Son from -4. You know what? I'd be very tempted to make that move. Keep an eye out in case we get any news on whether Nunez starts or not. I think that's an easier transfer to make if Nunez is out, because then I think Salah's ceiling is so high this game week. Perhaps the highest of all the fixtures, but keep an eye out. We're going to try and find out if there is any last minute news or leaks on Liverpool's lineup and squad and so on. If I get anything, I will let you guys know. Team News and Ticks says at 10:50 he's likely to get Liverpool news, so that's going to be in about 40 minutes, just under. So stick around for that as well, guys. I'll let you know whatever it is that he says. But yeah, I think I'd make that move. I think those are two upgrades, so yeah, I think I would. Good moves. Thank you also, Jay Nash, for the super chat. He says, Ramsdale, Cancelo, Trippier, Perisic, Andreas, Salah, Mount, Martinelli, Tony, Mitrovic, Haaland, and the benches, Ward, Cucurella, Nico, Gross. Wildcard and one transfer left. What to do? So if you still got your wildcard, activate it now. There's no better week. You have to use it now. In my opinion, it's the last good opportunity to wildcard, which is why I made a wildcard video this week. If you guys haven't seen that, go watch that quickly. Just fast forward to the end. You don't even have to watch the whole thing. But it's about 5 or so minutes. If you have the wildcard, use it now. And I'd be looking to get rid of Perisic from the wildcard. I would get rid of Mount for Foden on your wildcard. I'd keep Martinelli. I would keep Cancelo, Trippier. Ramsdale's fine. Tony, Mitrovic, Haaland's fine. I'd probably get Saka. On a wildcard, my midfield would be Salah, Martinelli, Saka and Foden. If you've got your wildcard, use it, definitely. Hope that helps, Jainesh. James says, Emerson to Gomez, don't play Dunk, or Maddison to Foden, or -4 for both, I assume. Yeah, I don't mind the Gomez transfer at all. Yeah, I like that. You don't want to start Dunk, basically, so yeah, that's a good transfer. And you're sensible to keep Dunk as well, because he does look fine for the final two. I did prepare a graphic early this week, actually. I sorted the final 4 fixtures by difficulty for the remainder up until the World Cup. And just looking at Brighton's final two, they're good games against Wolves and Villa. So yeah, you're fine to keep someone like Dunk on the back of your bench. Everton, interestingly, top. Palace there. Man City up there as well. Did I miss a super chat? Let me scroll up. Ben says Son to Salah from -4. Oof, it's difficult on this. Would you guys do Son to Salah for -4 in isolation? That other move was a combination of moves for Foden as well, so I think that one was easier to justify, but I think I would. Oh, I don't know. I just hate hits. I avoid hits whenever I can. Basically, it comes down to whether Nunez is in the squad, in the starting 11 or not. It looks like we may get news at 10 to 11, so in just over half an hour, we'll get some Liverpool news. A potential lineup leak. So I'll share that with you guys. I think it comes down to also whether Nunez is in the starting 11 or not, or in the squad. If he's not, then things change dramatically because Salah's then the primary source of goals in that team. That's why Salah's been underwhelming this season, because they spent all this money on Nunez and he's been the man expected to get all the goals, and he's the one doing all the shooting now. And as a consequence, Klopp has tweaked things. He's had Salah playing wider at times. So Salah's been less of a relevant asset, but that can change on a match-by-match basis. So we'll keep an eye out for any Nunez news. Owen says, start 2 of Trippier, Dyer, Anderson, Harrison, Andreas, and Ward or Pope. So I'd start Ward. I'd start Dyer. Who have Leeds got? Leeds have Fulham at home. I haven't actually really looked at Harrison. Has he been playing? If Harrison's been getting starts, then I think you have to start him home to Fulham. So it'd be Dyer, Harrison, and Ward. I'm not sure what his minutes have been like recently. If he's been benched or anything like that, then Trippier. Failing that, I'd start Harrison. Ryan says, I'm planning to do Bowen and Darwin to Foden and Jesus next week, or should I jump the gun on Bowen to Foden now? Let's have a look at the projected points to mull that one over. Bowen's projected more, to be fair, 5.3. Foden's on 5. So I would give it a week. I think you're fine to wait a week on that one. Yeah. I think the sensible thing to do there is just wait a week. FPL Review actually have Bowen projected more than Foden here, so yeah, I think you're fine. And you never know, you might have more fires to put out. So whenever possible, it's good to roll the transfer, especially in a situation like that where the players actually projected less points. Not by much, to be fair, but by a little bit. Right, so we've got like 45 minutes to go. We'll get some Liverpool news later. I'll let you guys know what the leaks are, whatever we get. If you are enjoying the stream so far, hit like. We're at about 400, so hit like now, guys, and we'll get that to 500. Appreciate all your support and appreciate you tuning into this deadline stream. Same answer to you, Elliot, on Foden in for Bowen. It looks like it can wait a week. I would say wait a week on that one. Could be a very good week for Bowen owners. I know last week was disappointing, but that was only because he missed a penalty. You know, on another day, if he scores the penalty, then you're in for a great week. So it's fine margin sometimes. So I don't think we suddenly have to sell Bowen for Foden. Definitely a move that can wait a week. John says, Oscar, where do you get all the great graphics from? I make them all myself. All these graphics you see, I make them myself for my videos and my streams. The clean sheet odds, goal scorer odds, the ticker. Yeah, all of these, I make them myself. And I like to use these little team graphics as well whenever I'm doing the news coverage, especially, or talking about particular teams. Just adds a bit of quality to the stream, doesn't it? Some production value, which hopefully you guys appreciate. What's the West Ham one? Oh yeah. Yeah, I want it to be a good show. It's almost like a TV show. That's where that's where I want to get to eventually. I want that level of production quality one day. Or it's like a live video, isn't it? With the transitions and whatnot. A live video. But yeah, I try and replicate the quality I put into my videos as well. Consistency. Clark says production value. Lex says nice. Appreciate that, guys. Nova says, how does the upper level subscription on your channel work? And do I have to send you emails for suggestions about my team? Yeah, I did add a separate tier because there were some people that wanted to get unlimited team feedback all season from me. So there is a tier for that if anyone's interested. Yeah, it's not cheap, and I didn't put it at that price because it's not about the money for me. It's just that I didn't want to manage too many teams. So I think there's only spots for like 1 or 2 teams. And the way it works is you get access after signing up to a Discord channel where I'm always online and available chatting, answering team questions and making suggestions and so on. So basically you just need Discord. If anyone does go for that, or even the base tier, just drop me a DM on Discord and I can tell you how to link it so you get access to the channels. There's a channel for each tier, basically. Did I miss a super chat? Apologies, let me scroll up. Adam Wise says, Wilson and Trossard to Tony Martinelli from -4 or KDB to Foden. Definitely wouldn't sell KDB this week, 100% not. Wilson and Trossard to Tony Martinelli from -4. Yeah, I like those moves, Adam. I think that's a justified -4. I would go for it. I wish Villa had gone another week before sacking Gerrard, but it is a good fixture for Brentford nonetheless against Villa. So yeah, I would make those moves, -4. Good moves. You know, Wilson's got Spurs, obviously. Trossard's got City. Both could blank. Whereas Tony Martinelli could both haul. Could easily repay the -4. Did I see Reese in the chat? Where is he? Yes, Reese. Playing FPL in the chat. How are we doing, Reese? It's been a while. If you guys don't know who Reese is, he's the guy behind Plan FPL. Really, really good FPL site. You can use it for your team planning. He's also got like a nice dashboard here, like the template team. I'm down there as an official supporter, actually. I don't sponsor them. He doesn't sponsor me, anything like that. It's just when he first came into the scene with his website, it blew me away of how good it is. Like I use it for the expert series. So each week I just make the team here for the experts. But what it's actually intended for is for your own team planning. So you look at how your team is, for example, for Gameweek 13, and then you can look ahead to future game weeks. You see how the fixtures underneath the players all change. So you could just say, you know, for example, say I wanted to go Doherty out in Gameweek 14, then you can do that. You just go defenders, you know, you pick whoever it is. Let's say you wanted Dyer or something. You'd never make that move, but really, really good website for forecasting your team in future game weeks. planfpl.com. Definitely check them out. He also made the ticker, actually, that you see at the bottom of the screen. Anyway, what did he say? He says, Salah got into my head last night and I nearly made him a -8. I'm hoping it doesn't end my season today. Yeah, I don't think I'd take a -8 for Salah, but I can understand why there is temptation this week. We're hoping to get some Liverpool news in just under half an hour, whether Nunez starts or not, or perhaps what the formation is. Because if Salah's striker, I think it could be a very, very good game week for Salah up against Forest. Thank you, Scrumps, for becoming an FPL-focal member as well. Appreciate that, Scrumps. Love the username. Chris says, thoughts on Bernardo for Trossard, or just stick with the crowd and go for Martinelli? Great stream as always. Yeah, Martinelli for me. I know Bernardo, you know, he's got a hole in him, but I think it has to be Martinelli between those. Stick with the crowd. James says, start Maddison or Edouard, or -4 Maddison to Foden. I'd start Maddison. I think I'd start Maddison. Bench Edouard. I wouldn't take a -4 for Foden this week. Nova says, guys, please spam your likes for this wonderful content creator and do subscribe. Thank you, Nova. So you heard him. If you are enjoying the stream, do hit like on it. I appreciate you guys, and subscribe if you're not already. We hit 125k this morning, so thank you for that as well, those that are new subscribers. Is anyone here for the first time on a deadline stream? I think a lot of people don't know, or just don't tune into the streams, because people leave comments like, they're like, Focal, when are you going to do a face reveal? And I've had my face in my live streams since the day I started the channel. Or thereabouts. Darren says, Bernardo Silva differential, Nico to Castagna from -4. I don't think I'd get Bernardo. I think I'd rather just find the funds for Foden myself. He's not bad as a differential, but I think I prefer Foden. How much is Bernardo? Was it like 7.5 or something? I'd find the money for Foden if possible. It's not a bad shout at all, but basically if I was going to get budget mids or mid-price mids, I would get Martinelli, Saka, Foden, probably even Zaha ahead of Bernardo. Nico to Castagna from -4. If you're forced to start Nico against Liverpool, then yeah, I would take the -4. There's no way Nico gets anything from this game, in my opinion. So I think it's a justified -4. Lumi says do a face reveal. I'm going to do a face unreveal. How about that? Gone. Not this. I don't think it's the same though, is it, when it's just a voiceover? I think it's a bit more engaging. But yeah, it's not my style to show my face in all my videos. I'll be honest, it's partly just because I can't be bothered with all the effort of like making myself look presentable for videos. So that's partly why I don't bother with that. But everyone's different, aren't they, with the content they like. Some people like content with faces. It's a bit more personable. But perhaps when my face isn't shown, it makes it more about the content rather than about me. Because that's what it's about. Morning, Nim. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Guehi or Trippier? I think Trippier. Just going to have a quick look if we've got any leaks or any news. It looks like we'll get something at 10 to 11 anyway. Milner starts today. That's all we know so far. Milner starts today. Could be concerning news for those that own Trent. We'll have to see. Unless it means Alexander-Arnold in right mid, but who knows. Noctan Booley says you're a wizard, Focal. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's the only Liverpool news so far, Julian, that Milner starts today. Scoreline predictions for Liverpool v Forest. What do we think? I can't remember what I predicted on the Prediction League. There's a mini game on the Discord where you predict the results each game week, and you get points based on how close you are. I am top of the league, actually, by the way. I'm about 1k overall. I think I went 3-0 Liverpool. Jessica says, I ask this question every week, Ward or Pope? It's Ward again for me this week. You know, Ward's better on the clean sheet odds. It's a fair question, but when it comes to the goalkeepers, I just tend to back the clean sheet odds. You know, it's in their interest to be right, the bookies. So I tend to back the bookies when I'm making calls on goalkeepers. It's a bit more complicated when it's defenders because you have to factor in attacking threat. But with keepers, I tend to just back the bookies. Leicester got 23.5% chance, Newcastle 19%. Shaker Maker says, who would you bench? Pereira, Solanke or Almiron? I think I'd bench Almiron against Spurs. I think that's the logical thing to do there. Pereira could definitely get returns. Solanke definitely could. Almiron could, but it's a tough game against Spurs, who you know, are looking to bounce back after a loss. So I would say bench Almiron. Where do you think Newcastle finish this season? That's a good question. I'll bounce that back to chat. Where do you guys think Newcastle finish? I reckon they'll finish 6th or 7th. Thank you, Darren Holman, for becoming an FPL Focal member as well. Appreciate that, Darren. Thank you. If anyone is interested, it's the join button below the stream to become a member. It supports the channel, obviously, but you do get some perks as well. You get early access to my videos. There's a private channel on the Discord for members only, and you get a little badge by your name in my live chat and comments. So I do try to pick out the members as well, just to say thank you for the support when they do ask questions in chat. 5th. I'll be really impressed if they get 5th. Where are they at the moment? Let's have a look at the Premier League table. Who do you guys think is going down? That's the table at the moment. Does that fit in? Arsenal 4 points clear. Man City 2nd, Tottenham 3rd, both on 23. Chelsea 4th, United 5th. Newcastle are actually 6th. 2 ahead of Liverpool, but Liverpool have played a game less. Who's getting relegated? I'll say Forest are going down. Bournemouth are actually doing really well, but I think they might go down as well. Sorry, Bournemouth fans. The third one's really tricky to call. Might be Leeds. What do you guys think? Forest, Leeds and Brentford. I'll be very surprised if Brentford go down. Yeah, rumours that Trent is benched. Milner starts today, so it's just whether Trent plays in right mid or... I don't expect Milner to play in midfield, so maybe he plays in right back in Trent's place. It was the tweet from Anfield Edition. Did my transitions too fast, I didn't even load. James Milner starts today. That's all we know so far. Team News and Tick said he was going to get some news in about 20 minutes. So we should have some pre-deadline news. Hopefully we'll get the whole starting 11 as far as Liverpool. So when we get that, I will let you guys know whatever the news is. So Adrian says, I've got Edison, Cancelo, Haaland, Mount, Zaha, Sterling, Martinelli, Andreas. 1 free transfer and 5 mil. Should I sell Sterling to Foden for -4? Saka for free. Got no faith in Salah. Definitely keep Salah this week. Keep Salah this week, 100%. I would do Sterling to Foden. That's what I would do there. Yeah, you got to keep Salah this week, 100%. Liam Dodo says Perisic benched. Gross to Martinelli to cover for a -4. Let's see if Paul O'Keefe said anything. He tends to be very accurate with the Spurs predictions. If I was to guess, I would say Sessegnon starts. Oh, he's actually tweeted half an hour ago. I'll show you what he's predicted. He's actually predicted the same, interestingly. This is what I said earlier, actually, top of the stream. Emerson's back from suspension, so I said I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a game ahead of Doherty, and I also wouldn't be surprised if Sessegnon starts ahead of Perisic. So yeah, I would predict the exact same if I was to guess how Spurs line up. I would say Perisic is benched, so if I had him, I would bench him / sell him. I've predicted a front two of Kane and Son again. Keep your questions coming, guys. We've got half an hour till the deadline. If you guys have enjoyed the stream so far, please do hit like on it and subscribe to the channel. I do deadline streams every game week and 4 or 5 videos every game week. The past week's been the craziest one ever since I started doing YouTube. 10 videos in 6 days. My brain's been absolutely fried from the amount of content. But yeah, I'm looking forward to today. I'm going out. As soon as this stream finishes, it's my mate's birthday, so I'm going out in London. We're going to get some chicken wings in Soho, and then we're going to get on the beers. Aman says, well, back to Darwin from -4. No, not from -4. I wouldn't do it. We don't know if Darwin starts even. We should get some Liverpool news. Oh, I forgot about the poll. How many hits are you on this week? 66% are on no hits. 26%, about a quarter, are on a -4. 8% are on a -8 or worse. Thank you all for voting. It seems likely that Trent could be benched, I'll be honest, if Milner starts today. It just depends where Milner plays, whether he goes in midfield or in right back. It seems like the kind of fixture. Where you could get away with benching him ahead of the Champions League midweek next week. Nottingham Forest, so I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, if Trent is benched. In fact, Andy's tweeted it as well. Yeah, Andy says Trent's benched. That's all we know so far, but yeah, Trent looks like he is benched. Heads up to all the Trent owners in the chat. If anyone in chat owns Trent and not Cancelo, then I think the move makes itself. Outside of that, can't think of any other stand-up moves, because Trippier's not obvious this week against Spurs. But I think you would have to bench Trent based on that. Yeah. If you own Trent this week, then bench him. Maybe even sell him. Not a bad fixture though in Gameweek 14, Leeds at home. Probably comes back into the starting 11 for that one. So it just depends on your team. Tom Carr says Zaha to Saka for a -4. I already bought in Foden. Not for a -4. Don't think it's worth it. Zaha looked really good last match. You know, he looked really involved. He's on penalties. Look very threatening. I don't think I'd do it for a -4. It's a lot to ask for Saka to outscore Zaha by 4 points this week. Thank you, Mikkel, for the 8 months as well. He says, Dyer to Cancelo or Zaha to Saka for -4. I've got Foden. If I had to pick between those two, I'd do Dyer to Cancelo. But I don't think I'd do either for a -4, Mikkel. I don't think either are worth the -4. What do you guys in chat think? Dyer to Cancelo for a -4, Zaha to Saka for -4? Personally, I mean, I tend to avoid hits. I wouldn't make either of those moves for a -4 myself. Start Castagna or Saliba? Saliba. Start Guehi or Dyer? Dyer. Is Maddison starting? Yeah, he almost certainly will be. He's back from suspension. I'd be absolutely amazed if he doesn't start. But yeah, he almost certainly will. He's their main man. They need him. Oh, bench one of Zaha, Mitrovic and Tony. That's awful, that one. Probably Zaha. Is Everson starting? Probably not. Pope probably comes off my bench. Nova says, what are your plans for the channel during the World Cup month? I'm not sure yet. I'll probably do World Cup content, but I'm not sure. I've got a few holidays planned over that time, so certainly my upload schedule will be massively reduced. And certainly my income's going to go out the window during that month because there's just not as much to make videos about. And yeah, I'm not sure. Do you guys think I should do World Cup content? I think I probably will, just not as much. Maybe just like a team selection, maybe players to buy, and that's about it. Is Trent benched? Yes. QUYC says yes to World Cup content. I probably will, to be honest. I think I'll do like a tutorial how to play World Cup Fantasy, and then I'll do like on one on my team, which players are good players to buy, that sort of thing. The usual, just like adaptations of my FPL content. Rodrigo says upgrade Mitrovic to Tony, upgrade Mitrovic to Jesus or Tony, or keep him. Keep him. Yeah, I don't see any reason to sell for the next two. You could sell him Gameweek 15 because then he's got City and Man United. That's when you sell. But this week it doesn't seem like an upgrade to me. He's up against Leeds. It's a good fixture. Back on the score sheet again. 8 goals this season. 2-2 since coming back from injury. I don't think I'd be selling Mitrovic this week. Is Robertson starting? I think he almost certainly is, yeah. My guess is Tsimikas is benched, Trent is benched, Milner right back, Robertson left back. But we'll keep checking for you guys in case there's any last minute news or leaks. As far as I'm aware, Trent's benched, so I think it's Milner and right back. Is Salah starting? Yeah, he'll start 100%. Will Saka start? He should as well. Arteta said he's shaken off the knock, so looks all good there. Oh, in fact, I don't have it anymore. I got rid of that tweet. Basically, when I do these streams, I have like 100 tabs open, and then I do the transition and hop around. Yeah, basically, Arteta said that Saka's should be fine, and it was just a knock. That's all. What transfer are you making? Yeah, so for anyone that missed it, I've made my transfer already, which was Trossard to Foden. 1 free transfer. I'm hoping to roll the transfer into Gameweek 14 and then take 2 into the final couple of game weeks, 15 and 16. Ian says Solanke to Tony and Dunk to Gabriel for a -4. I don't think I'd sell Solanke this week. I think I'd just do Dunk to Gabriel, unless you can't afford it in one go. If that's the case, then and you're forced to start Dunk this week, then I would make the moves. But I think Dunk is actually okay for the final couple of game weeks if you can bench him for the next 2. Their final 2 games are down here. They've got Wolves away and Villa at home. 2 good fixtures before the World Cup. So if you can bench the likes of Webster, Dunk for the next 2, then I would hold on to your Brighton defensive assets. But if you're forced to start Dunk this week, then I would take the -4. Yeah, I would do that move. Yeah, for anyone that missed it, Trent is benched. Looks like it's going to be Milner and right back. I imagine Robertson starts in left back. So if I was on a wild card, I'd be very tempted to get Robertson and not Trent. We should have some news in about 10 minutes as far as the Liverpool lineup. So whatever we get, I will share with you guys. Pope or Guaita. We don't know yet if Darwin starts or if he's in the squad even or what's going on there. But yeah, in about 10 minutes we should have the Liverpool news. So once we get that, I will share it with you guys. Don't think I'd do Cucurella to Ben White for a -4. Salah to Fernandes, says Aman. Not a move I'd make this week. I know Fernandes was brilliant last match, but I wouldn't be selling Salah. FCH Sean says, hope you're well, Oscar. How's Teddy? Hopefully fully adjusted to the new room. He is adjusted, yeah. As soon as this stream ends, I'm going out in London for a mate's birthday. So Teddy's not around today. My family have got him because I have to shoot literally the second we hit 11 o'clock because we've got a reservation for chicken wings in London. What's everyone's favourite fast food? I'm buzzing for some chicken wings. I'm starving already, and we're not there for a couple of hours still. Best fast food chat. Teddy for Prime Minister, says John Smith. He would do a job. He would do a great job in PM. He's definitely not a yes man, little Ted. Chinese, McDonald's. Teddy wings. Teddy wings? You're not eating my dog. McDonald's. A lot of McDonald's fans in the chat. KFC. Nando's. I think Nando's is a bit overpriced for what it is. When I get Uber Eats, I tend to get Piri Piri, which is like my local one. And they do the same food as Nando's, but it's like half the price and tastes so good. Oh, I'm getting so hungry just talking about fast food now. Domino's. Great shout, Harry. Domino's. Five Guys. Focal Wings. Popeyes. What's Jollibee? Haven't heard of that one. Thanks, Freddie. Starbucks. Is Starbucks fast food? Jerk chicken. McDonald's. A lot of McDonald's fans. Anyone else getting hungry just talking about fast food now? My tummy's going now. I don't know if the mic's picking it up. But I'm really hungry now. Jonas says he's got one free transfer left after getting Foden. He's considering Saka to Gabriel. Sorry, Shaw to Gabriel or Maddison to Saka. Which do you prefer, considering the potential Saka injury? Are you forced to start Shaw against Spurs? If you are, then Gabriel. That's what I would do. But does that leave you with enough money to get Saka still in game week? Say if you wanted him in game week 14 for Forest at home, does that leave you with enough money still? As long as the answer is yes. I can't remember if actually Maddison's more than Saka. I think you're okay there. If you're forced to play Shaw, then I would do the Gabriel move between those two. And you're looking good. Getting in Foden with run-free transfer is a good position. It just depends. If you have someone good to start instead of Shaw, then I'd do Saka. Mark says, yo, Oscar, start Wilson or Andreas. I think you have to start the striker there. You know, someone like Wilson can score against anyone, so I would go Wilson. No news yet. We may have Liverpool early news or leaks in just under 10 minutes. So when we get that, if we get that, I'll share everything with you guys that we know as far as the Liverpool leaked lineup, who starts, who doesn't. What we do know is that Trent is benched, so it's probably Milner and right back. So FYI to Trent owners. If you own Trent, I would honestly bench him this week. You're fine to start someone like Andreas if he was on your bench for Trent previously. Instead of start Andreas. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I do feel for Trent owners because he looked an excellent pick, and I was very nervous going about him for last game week and this game week. Got away with it last week, really, just a 6-pointer. But this game week could have been a bloodbath. It could still be just not Trent on the bench, basically. Could come on and do damage as well, but yeah, Trent's benched. Lupo in the chat, he says Wilson to Tony from -4. Not from -4. I don't think I'd do that from -4. Doesn't feel like a high enough upside move to make from -4 in isolation. I don't think I would. Would you guys do that from -4 Wilson to Tony? I tend to avoid hits whenever I can, just because they're rarely repaid. You know, look at last Gameweek, for example. I took a -4 to get, who did I get? Trossard. And technically, if I'd just not taken that -4 and played 9 players last Gameweek, I would have scored more points. Perhaps that was unlucky. You know, Trossard did hit the bar and so on, but you're basically betting on the potential odds of them doing something, which, you know, in a way is like the goal scorer odds, but there is also the assist potential. You know, Tony's actually not even here in the top 12 for goal scorer odds, so he's probably not far off. It could be like, so you're taking a -4 on a 30% chance or less of Tony getting you something, right? You know, is that a logical bet you'd make? Probably not. The odds are against you. Is Trent actually benched? Yeah, my understanding is Trent is benched. We should get more news in about 5 minutes as far as the Liverpool lineup. Whatever we get, I will share with you guys. RSD TV says, start Dyer or Justin, or use a free transfer and Dyer to White and bench Justin. No, just start Dyer. Dyer looks fine for the next 2. Newcastle could be a difficult game, but it is at home. And then it's Bournemouth. Bournemouth rock bottom in the league for expected goals this season, so I would give Dyer the next 2. Justin first on bench. Replace Trossard for Foden for a -4, or Poden as he's called him. Yeah, I would do that. I think that's a justified -4. I'd be very surprised if Trossard gets anything, but Foden I can see getting a return or 2. If you guys missed it, we were talking earlier in the stream about Foden's record against Brighton. I tweeted this last night. Foden hasn't blanked against Brighton since the 2019-20 season, 2 years ago. He's played them 4 times, 5 goals, 1 assist, 49 points, 12.3 points per game in those 4 games against Brighton. Of course, sometimes with these kind of stats, it can just be coincidence, but he does have a very good record against Brighton. Lupo says, start Rashford or Wilson then. Big ups, mate. Rashford or Wilson? Oh, that's tricky. Chat, what would you do there? Rashford or Wilson? I think Rashford, just about. It's close, though. I think Rashford. I think Rashford really marginally edges that one. You guys say Wilson. Zwefty says Rashford. QYC says Wilson. I just think Spurs are going to be such a tough opposition for Newcastle. I wouldn't do a -4. People are talking about -4 Wilson to Tony and that sort of thing. I don't think I'd do that. But in my head, just thinking about the game, I think Rashford's likely to get something. Also, Man United are going to be in good spirits, good confidence off the back of beating Spurs 2-0. Great result. Great result to take into a game against Chelsea. Not much in it though. It's kind of a coin toss, that one. But I think I would say Rashford just about between those 2. Jack Bandera says, bring in Cancelo or Martinelli this game week. If I had to prioritise one, it would be Cancelo for me. Cancelo first, and then Martinelli probably in game week 14. Keep your questions coming in. Under 15 minutes till the deadline. If you guys have enjoyed the stream so far, please do hit like on it. I appreciate your support. I hate asking for likes. It's the most annoying thing to ask for likes, but it actually makes a massive difference on the YouTube algorithm. When the YouTube algorithm sees likes and that sort of thing, it's like it thinks, oh, this content is something that I should promote to others because people like it. So yeah, if you do enjoy it. We've got Ivan Blocks in the chat. How we doing? Emma Waterworth says, start Andreas or Solanke. I would go Solanke. Liverpool squad leak. Yeah, we should have some news in a couple of minutes. Hopefully we get the full Liverpool lineup in a couple of minutes. Whatever we get, I will share with you guys, and that should come imminently. Team News and Ticks said that at 10 to 11 he'll get something, which is 2 minutes from now. So stick around for that. Should have something in a couple of minutes. Trent is benched, is what we know so far. Milner starts. So it looks like Milner starts in right back for Liverpool with Trent on the bench. Start Solanke or Guehi. Solanke. Ward or Pope. Ward. Andreas or Trossard. Andreas. Sky Girl says, easy to hit the thumbs up. Just do it. Thank you, Sky Girl. Salah to Foden. Not for me. I wouldn't make that move. Start Arnold or Nico. Oh, I'd probably start Trent. I suppose if he comes off the bench, he could get you something. Jan says, who to start? Perisic, Webster or Williams? Or make a transfer from -4, Webster to White, perhaps. I would sell Perisic. I think he's going to be benched this week, myself, this game week. I think Perisic is benched, so I would sell him. If you're not sure, put up on Arsenal, I would probably do Perisic to Gabriel. That would be my move. Gabriel's or Saliba. Saliba's on 4 yellows, so if Saliba gets 1 more yellow, he does miss a match. So I think I'd do Perisic to Gabriel. I think Webster's okay to keep hold of, because you've got Gabriel, who's good for the next 2. Potentially you bench him 15 for Chelsea, but that's when Brighton's fixtures turn, and you can start Webster those final 2. Depends on your other 2 defenders. You could bench Gabriel in 15. Alright, we have the Liverpool lineup. You guys ready? Liverpool lineup is Alisson in goal. Back 4, Milner, Gomez, Van Dijk and Robertson. Fabinho, Thiago and Elliott midfield. Salah, Firmino, Carvalho. No Nunez. No Nunez in the Liverpool starting 11. There it is. Big news, guys. So Trent is benched. Nunez either benched or not in the squad. And that makes Salah very, very tempting. The goals have to come from somewhere in that Liverpool team. And Salah's now the primary source of goals. So he's a shout for captaincy. 100%. No Trent or Nunez for Liverpool. No or Nunez in the Liverpool. There we go, guys. That's big news. Is anyone tempted by Salah for captain now off the back of that? So yeah, Milner and right back. If you have Trent, then you bench him. I think you have to bench him. It's a difficult decision. Do you sell him? I think it depends on the rest of your defence. If you can bench him and then bring him back into your starting 11 for Leeds at home, then I think you do. Two secs. Del Boy Tokyo says, don't captain Salah, Oscar, he'll blank. I'm sticking with Haaland, but I think this really does make Salah tempting. Really, really tempting. If I wasn't live right now, I would stop and give it a minute to think about it and fully assess it, because I think he's really a good option now. I really do think Salah's a good option for captaincy. I just don't like to make decisions when I'm live, especially in front of 2,000 people watching right now. What do you guys think? Honestly, I think Salah's such a good captain option off the back of that news. I wouldn't be at all surprised if he gets a return or 2 today. Still, I think Haaland just edges it, thinking out loud, because he's had the midweek rest. You know, Pep was saying, if players are starting to think about the World Cup and not give it 100%, then he's not afraid to bench them. So on top of that, Haaland doesn't even have the World Cup because Norway didn't qualify. There's just so much that points towards Haaland still. You know, home to Brighton. It's close. What do you guys think? Blue Link says Haaland's still better. Sagar says Salah is the imposter in FPL this season. The thing is, though, he's been a frustrating asset because partly because Nunez. And when Nunez starts, he's the new source of goals. He's the one doing all the shooting. He's the one that they're feeding balls to. And it has had a negative effect on Salah. And also Klopp's tactically changed things and playing Salah in right mid. And he's had to have more defensive duties. But this is a front 3. Salah, Firmino, Carvalho. And suddenly it's a very different scenario. Nunez isn't in the starting 11, so where did the goals come from? Salah. They come from Salah. Preston says Firmino in for Wilson from -4. Oh, what do you guys think? That one's tempting because it feels like a very high upside transfer because they don't have options off the bench to bring on for Firmino. We could see Salah and Firmino play the 90. What Newcastle's fixture after that? I don't know if I would do it. I feel like I would just... it's difficult. This week, you might get that hit repaid, but then what about beyond that? Firmino could be benched. Wilson's home to Villa and then away to Southampton. If you like a little bit of risk, if you like the upside, then I would make that move, but otherwise I wouldn't. It depends on your risk tolerance. It's not a transfer I would personally make, but I don't tend to chase risks like that myself. I tend to just play fairly safe and slowly chip away at my rank, but that's the sort of move that's a very high potential upside swing if it comes off. Is Saka starting? We don't know if he's starting or not. Arteta said in his conference that he's fine as far as the knock. He should be okay, so I think Saka will start myself. I think Saka will start, and then I think he'll be benched in the Europa League, and then start again next weekend as well. That would be my guess. Global Orderism says, captain Haaland or Firmino? I'd say Haaland between those two. Haaland captain. So yeah, for anyone that's tuning in and missed it just now, the Liverpool news is that Trent is benched. Nunez is benched or not in the squad. It's a front three of Carvalho, Firmino and Salah. Big news that for the Nunez owners. If you have Nunez, you sell him. You get rid of him. 100% you sell him. Robertson starts in left back. Gomez starts as expected. Van Dijk starts. Firmino starts. Here it is from the Cop Central. That's the Liverpool lineup. I'll leave that on screen in case anyone's tuning into the stream just now and wondering. I'll answer your questions. Zayab says either Mitro or Tony to Firmino for a hit. I wouldn't sell either of those for a hit. Mitro and Tony both look fine this week. Gomez starts, Anthony. Pope or Ward start. Andreas or Perisic, Andreas. Perisic or Guehi. I think Perisic will be benched, if I'm honest. Jack Milner says, I'm a Liverpool fan, and that'd be a 4-4-2 Salah up top. Yeah, good point. So it'll be Elliott right mid, Carvalho left mid, if it's a 4-4-2. Firmino and Salah up top. Again, that's arguably even better for Salah's prospects. Yeah, thanks for that, Jack. Good point. And Klopp had hinted at a 4-4-2 in his presser. Mohammed says, Haaland is the boring choice. Captain Salah, mate. The thing is, when I make my transfers, I tend to spend a lot of time to think about it, but it's difficult when you're live in front of 2,000 people to act on that last minute news. What I should have done is thought about it before the stream. If I get news that Salah starts and Nunez doesn't, what would I do? But I think I'm going to stick with Haaland. You know, it's Haaland, by the way. It's not like he's a bad choice at all. He's an exceptional choice. Just checking what others are doing, if anyone's tempted by the Salah captaincy. I'm personally not going to do it. Yeah, Trent's on the bench today, Milner and right back. Nunez doesn't start. Don't know if he's on the bench or not, but if you've got Nunez, you sell him. Could be a good week for Firmino owners, I'll say that much. Arnold took Cancelo for a hit, says Aman. Yeah, I'd make that move. Assuming that you haven't got a good option to start instead this week, Aman. You know, if you've got someone reasonable you can play, then you play them. Because Trent versus Leeds at home in Gameweek 14 is a very good fixture, but I think Cancelo for a hit is fine. You do want to have City defensive coverage, to be honest, because Cancelo is, 55% owned, plus there's people that have Ederson, some other players, so there is a lot of potential points against you. And that's just overall, you know, in the top 100k, for example, it's going to be a lot higher. It'd be more like 70%. FPL1 says, would you take a 4-point hit on Dunk out for Joe Gomez? If you're forced to start Dunk, then I'd be very tempted. Yeah, I would. But If there's someone else you can play instead of Dunk, then I would do that instead. Because Dunk looks good for the final 2 fixtures. We were saying earlier, they've got Wolves and Villa. It just depends if you have to play Dunk or not. Because, yeah, I don't see Brighton keeping a clean sheet at all away to City. In fact, they were rock bottom on the clean sheet odds. Trent on a wild card, who to switch to? So on a wild card, I would probably have Cancelo. I'd probably have... I think I'd have Robertson. I'd have Robertson. Who would the third be? I think you can just switch into Robertson. We've got 940 likes. If you guys have enjoyed the stream so far, then do hit like. Oh, we've got 1 minute till the deadline. Let's get it to 1,000, and then we'll wrap the stream up. I can't stick around today, unfortunately. Nova says, don't get too emotional about the news about Salah. Yeah, I'm going to leave it as is. I'm not going to make any last-minute news, last-minute transfers. I'm going to leave it as is. Haaland captain. Appreciate you guys all tuning into this deadline stream. Yeah, I'm going out straight after the stream ends for a mate's birthday, so I can't stick around today. So we'll wrap up quickly, but before you all go, thank you again for tuning into the stream. If you have enjoyed it, please do hit like on it. Just checking if anyone's live that we can raid or not. Let's see who's live. Can't see anyone to raid this week. We're going to raid FPL Harry. Going to see Harry in a couple of weeks, actually. We're going to head over to the FPL, the Football Content Awards, because me, Harry, and Raptor have all been nominated. Tyler says, who can I swap Bailey for? I literally feel like I'm stuck with him. Need someone around his price for 4.6. Owen Andreas. Deadline's passed now, Tyler. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head for 4.6. Come back and ask me next week. I can't think of anyone to make right now, because now we're talking about Gameweek 14, not 13. 4.5. There's no one you'd want to start, so realistically you could just go down to like a 4.3, save up the cash. That's probably what I would do. So we're going to head over to FPL Harry's stream. Hopefully he's still live. Let's see. Is he done? No, is Harry done? Harry, don't do this to me. Yeah, he's done. Alright guys, we're not going to raid this week. Appreciate you all tuning into the stream. As always, do like the stream if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Enjoy the game week all. If you're not in the FPL Focal Discord, a link to that is in the description. But that's it from me. I love you guys. Thank you all for being here. Focal out.